So there was just a little bit of some technical difficulties. It appears that a big chunk of the audio got cut off. So I'm just going to continue where it did cut off. So just if there is something that seems foreign that I added, I did continue creating the video, but like I said, the audio did cut off. So yeah, just a quick one, guys. Let me just recap what I did. Add if statements just for you to be able to tell if the user did accurately enter the details correctly. So like, for example, add an if statement inside your material button. First of all, just make sure that the two passwords, if in the event that the two passwords aren't the same, you want to let our user know. So I actually want to create a new class. This class is going to basically have my dialog. This is what I want to show the user in the event that he entered or she entered something. So just declare a new class and call it dialogs. This is just going to be our message boxes that we show to the user throughout our app. Thereafter, declare a method, call it show message or whatever you want. It should return, or not return, it should take email and password. Thereafter, we're going to use the plugin we called earlier on that we added to our pubspec.yaml, which is flutter.toast. So flutter.toast allows us to show toast messages or toast notifications to the user. It takes the messages goes to the forefront, which is also pretty cool. So just say flutter.toast.showToast. Oh no, not email and password, message. We're going to pass a message here. Right, make sure you pass a message. It does take other parameters. It takes a toast length. So for Android, we'll say toast length short. Don't forget your comment. It takes gravity. Say toast gravity dot center. This will make the message go to the center of the page. Time in seconds for iOS. Pass a parameter of 1. Background color. Change the background color to light blue. Text color. Colors dot make it white. Font size. And then just end it in semicolon. The reason why we're getting an error is because we didn't import the material library. So once we've done that, the error should go. So go back to your register page, and for your if statements here, just say dialogs dot show message. And the message we want to show to our user is please check passwords. Right? Copy this message and paste it there. So here, this statement will be executed if he or she leaves any of the fields empty. So we'll say please do not leave any fields empty. Right? Cool. Hope that makes sense, guys. And then thereafter, for the else, you want to make sure that you say sign up. You want to pass your email controller text. Make sure you say dot text. You want to pass your pass controller dot text to our method that we created earlier on. And remember how I said when we say dot, then it basically executes this code after this method has completed. So after this method has completed successfully, we will return an auth result object. I then just have to check if this auth result object is null. If it's null, it means that my user wasn't created successfully. If it's not null, it means that my user was created successfully, obviously. So let's just check what we have. Okay, so I created a user. My emulator isn't necessarily running. So I did create a user, a test account via the app. Identifier basically means this is the email address that the user signed up with. Providers, this is how the user signed up. Guys, to get to this option, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Go to authentication on your Firebase console, then click users. Thereafter, you should be able to see the screen. And like I'm saying, email provider. If in the event that he signed up with Facebook or Twitter, you will see a T or an F here. Since I signed up via email, this is what I see. Created. This is when the user was created. Signed in. This is when the user signed in. User UID, the user's unique identifier. This is what separates them from other users. So each user has a unique ID. This is going to be important because we're going to need this for us to be able to store our users' data, basically, because we need to know their unique identifier key, right? Cool. I hope you guys are still following me. I hope I haven't lost anyone as of yet. Okay, what's next? Let's see. So I think now we're going to try and write an object to Firebase. So I'm actually going to show you guys how you can write an object to Firebase and how you can read an object to Firebase. Also, let me just run my emulator. So this is what we have so far. Sign up here. So let me just show you guys what I mean. Sign up here. Enter a random email address. Click register. And yeah, so if I got to this page, it means my user was registered successfully. So for us to test this, we can just open up Firebase. And I'm going to refresh my page. So I'm just refreshing my page. So another account was created, as you guys can see. So this is how we know a user was successfully created. And you can see it has a unique identifier key as well. It's different to this one. So no two users will ever have the same user UID. This is important because when dealing with user data, obviously you need a unique identifier key for a lot of things. So this is what we have so far. And remember, it does add tasks as well. So that's cool. But we need to be able to save these tasks online. So to do that, open up your to-do. So this isn't going to be too difficult actually. Well, go ahead, man. I don't know. We'll see. Declare a new function called write data. Declare a new function called write data. Right. Usually when writing, I like to use a try statement just in case anything fails. You don't necessarily need to do this because I think Firebase does have error catching inside, but to declare a try statement, say try catch, and then you pass the error in, right? And then you can either show a message. Remember how we declared the dialog that allows us to show a message. We can use it to show this message to the user in the event that something goes wrong. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to declare the Firebase authentication. We're going to call it auth. We're going to instantiate it. So it has to be big letters and dot instance. I'm getting an error because I might have. Okay, let's go. So, okay, thereafter, I'm going to use my auth to get. So, guys, what I need to do right now is I need to get the unique identifier key of my user, right? The reason being is I need to know where to store my user's to-do list. So I'm going to say auth dot current user dot then this returns a user object, a Firebase user object. So guys, it doesn't necessarily matter what you name this, as long as you know what it returns, and you can find out by pressing Control and just hovering on your then. You'll actually be able to see that it actually takes it returns what it returns, a Firebase user. And this is actually a future. So I'm getting an error because I didn't have my parentheses. Okay. So after here, I'm actually going to go up here and I'm going to declare a new database reference. I'm going to call it database reference. Make sure to instantiate it. Actually, we don't need to. It's fine. So now I just need to set the path of where it's being written to. So I'm going to say, so we can instantiate it here. I'm going to say Firebase database.instance.reference. So now it's gotten exactly where my database is. I've declared a database reference. So now this database reference contains where my database is stored, I guess, the details of it. Thereafter, I'm going to say .child. So we have to declare the path of where we want to write our data, right? And what I'm trying to write here is my to-do objects. So I'm going to say .child. .child basically is declaring the path of exactly where you want to write your data to, but you guys will see as I go on. So the first thing I want to do is I want to use my user object and get the unique identifier. The reason being is that for every user, this UID is going to be different. So yeah, I need a place that's unique. I'm going to say .child. I'm going to say user ID again. .child. So just make sure that your write data method takes an object of type doMe that we created earlier. Just pass the doMe object here and say .uid. Cool. So there's another thing that we forgot to actually do, and that is, so guys, go to your do-me object, right? So can you see how all our variables are private? So with Firebase, you can't necessarily write private variables because they're private. Firebase doesn't have a way to access these private variables. So you could make them public, and then Firebase will be able to access them and write. But since they're private, I have to make means or make provisions for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare a map of type string and dynamic, right? I'm going to call this to map. I'm going to declare a variable called map. Right? I hope you guys have dealt with maps before. If not, maps can be confusing a little bit, but we're going to make use of them heavily in this tutorial. Declare map, just like this. Right? And now what you want to do is you want to populate this map we just created with all these with the getters that we've set for ourselves. So we're going to say map. I'm going to say title. So title is the name of the first parameter that's going to be written to Firebase. I'm going to have to say this dot and I get the title. I'm just going to copy this and paste it for time's sake. I want to type them all out. So I have to do one for each variable that I created. Let's close that. Yeah. Description. What? Description. Pick. Action. Tasks. Complete. Active. Calendar date. Yeah, this is tedious. I know. It is very tedious, but it has to be done. It has to be done, guys. It has to be done. SEO. Okay, and then just equate your getters. Stay. SEO. I have two stages. Why do I have two stages? It's very strange. Why do I have two stages? Am I missing something? This one. This should be day. Okay. This one should just be day. This one is stay. This month. Calendar date, active, title, no, not title, complete, option, pick, description. Yeah. Another tip is a lot of people forget that you have to return. We declared a method, right, of type map, so we have to return a map. So a lot of people forget to return something. You wonder why their program doesn't work. But just make sure you return the map that you declared here. So now that we've done that, we can actually start writing to Firebase. So to do that, I'm gonna go back to my to-do page, and I'm gonna say database.reference.set, and I'm gonna pause the do me object. But now I have access to that method I created. So I'm gonna say do me.toMap. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna take my getters and equate them to this map object, and then it's going to write this map object to Firebase. So let's see how it works. Let's see if it works. So I have a couple of errors that I just need to get rid of. Just close it, and obviously make sure you close it. Okay. So it's training. So guys, we've come quite far. I do know this application is quite big actually. So remember initially when we started, I did tell you guys that it may look simple, but there's actually a lot that goes into it. But again, it is simple. It is very simple compared to how difficult it could have been with other frameworks and languages. So yeah, I just hope you guys are able to finish and have been following up to this point. But let's see. So I'm gonna actually open my project, right? I'm gonna try add task, and we're gonna see if it writes. So I'm gonna say confirm. So firstly, obviously it writes here, but that's fine. That's not important. What I want to see is that it writes to Firebase. So I'm gonna go to database. Obviously, it wouldn't have written actually because I haven't called. If I call this method, I haven't called this method anymore, so it won't write obviously. So I want to write this method when my user clicks confirm. So write data. I'm going to first add it to my list, and then I'm going to write this particular domain object that we created by passing it to my method, my write data method. So another important thing is you have to make sure that you have a UID, because if you guys can look here, I use the user object UID, and I also use the doMe object UID. So now our UID is empty, right? The one that we just created, we hard coded it. So we actually have to create one. And to do that, we are going to, what's it called? Create a UID. So we can use several things in the UID. We can use a date, we can use a time, we can use the device ID for the UID. So it's completely up to you what you want to use. I used the date for the UID. Yeah, but like I said, you guys can use anything you want. So let's declare our UID. Let me see. So to do this, I'm just gonna go up here. I'm going to declare a new variable called sub dt. So sub dt is just date time. With Flutter, we can use this parameter called datetime.now. So what this does is it gets the latest date and time up to the millisecond, and obviously we can use this as a UID because no point in time will we ever have the same time ever again, right? So hence why we can use it. Thereafter, just go to your UID here, right? And what you're gonna say is you're gonna say sub dt dot. So the date and time has to ISO 8601 string method. So this is what gets that unique identifier, the current date, time, hour, second, millisecond, and I think even millisecond. What is it? Microseconds. But this particular thing has what do you call it? It has hyphens and slashes. So ordinarily this would work, but Firebase doesn't allow you to pass hyphens and slashes for a child, if that makes sense. So I have to actually make sure that my object is a pure string with no special characters in it. And like I said, this will return the date and time to the millisecond, but it'll return it with hyphens and stuff, and we don't want that. So we just have to use the dot replace all method, and we replace the semicolon that comes with this UID that comes with this dot ISO 8601 string. We replace it, and like I said, it also has a dot, so no special characters. So we're just replacing them with empty operators, I guess. So guys, for the sake of time, if you guys have been following, try run your code without this and debug, and you'll actually see what I mean, that it has the date and time that it returns it with all these special characters. And you don't want that. So now that we have this UID and it's unique, we can actually, can we run it? Yeah, we can run our application. So we're just waiting for it to run. But in the meantime, we can we're just waiting for it to run. Let's see, what can we do in the meantime while it runs? I just want to show you guys how it's gonna roll. Let's just let it run. Guys, if anyone wants to donate me a computer, I'm always open for that. I think I should open a Patreon page here, don't you guys think? I think I should. Yeah. So it's running. Guys, so there's something annoying I just want us to fix quickly. So every time we close our app, it's going to ask us to keep signing in and keep signing in. And obviously we don't want that, right? So we need to check that the token, our sign-in token is still active. And if it's still active, we do not want to, what do you call it? We don't want to obviously go to the sign-in page. So to do that, we're going to go to the project. We're going to go to the login page. Go all the way up. Declare a new method and call it check if user is signed in. Right, this is the method we're going to use to check if our user is signed in. So we're gonna have to use the Firebase authentication, right? Instantiated that instance, remember that. Thereafter, you can say auth.current user .run, you say user, okay, and basically you're just going to check if that user object is null or not. So if this user object does not equal to null, then we can take the user straight to the home page. We don't have to show him the registration page time and time again. Make sure to use push replacement. The reason being is obviously when the user types back, we don't want to take him back to the login page. Okay, great. Where do we want to take him? To the home page, right? Remember never to import the half path, I guess. Always import the full path. Okay, run the application. So let's see. Okay. Oh, so I didn't run the function method again. I didn't even call it. So what we're gonna do, right, is we're gonna override the init state method. Init state is execute. This is the first method that's executed when the state is created. So the init state, initial state. So this is where we'll run. So it should go to the home page now. There we go. So it first checks if the user is logged in. If the token from Firebase is still true, it will take him straight to the home page. Great. So now let's try and add a task and see. Okay, so good, it gets added here. Let us see if it got fits into Firebase. So remember, okay, let's go in authentication, database. Let's just let it load. Cool. So it actually did right, eh? So this is this is the task we just created, and here it is here. Cool, eh? So we've actually saved the task to Firebase. Now the question is, how do we retrieve it, right? So another thing we just need to do is, what's it called? Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to continue the next video after this one, because I don't want this one to run too long. So guys, thank you for staying tuned. Again, I keep on saying this, but I hope this is being valuable. It does take a lot of time to create these videos. So yeah, I hope they've been valuable to you guys. Please just leave a comment. Just anything. It can be a critique, it can be something that can be improved, but yeah, just please leave a comment. And yeah guys, till the next one, deuces.